Hello, welcome to my goals for 2025 video, where I will lay out the things I would like to do for the year, which is mainly just keep going at it. Just keep making videos, ideally with the same consistency as we've been doing this year, and then maybe some more, maybe some less if I have like really big ones. I'm still kind of outlining the overall plan I want to do for the year, but I've got a couple things lined up. Is that I made a little infographic that has all of the series, and by that I mean 3 of them, that I want to cover at some point in the year. Whether that be the January or December, it's hard to say. A decent bet would probably be a lot of them are going to be later in the year because they're bigger videos. But that is just how I choose to adapt them, and who knows? I have vague ideas in my mind and I'm going to try to make them real, but that's going to take time. So here is that image for you. So I've split it up between manga and anime. That gives me 6 videos for the year. Maybe I'll merge a couple, hard to say, probably not, but who knows. The first is Kimishinu, the Yuri Magical School manga that I read recently and have a lot to say about, and has really good scene that I might just talk about in general. But I gotta give some Yuri rep. I do need to show that I read Yuri manga too. My goal with these is to be diverse about the things I'm talking about, but also talk about things I like, because that's kind of the point of making most of these videos. And then there's Demon Slayer, which is going to be an interesting video to make. It might be the most negative I am about a video, at least the content of what's going to be in it, but I got to get it out. I got to let the rage consume me and flow onto the page for a little bit. Then Blue Period is one that I think in a way could get mixed into the look back one, but I'm not quite sure yet. They could be 2 distinct things, but I also think they have a bit of overlap that I could merge into one big thing. As for anime, look back will probably get its own one. As I said, it might combine with Blue Period. It might just be a making art kind of video, because I'm doing a lot of that this year, which is one of my other side goals, is to draw every day. And so far, when I started, whenever Sarah's Fauna announced that she's going to graduate, I've been doing pretty good on that, and I intend to keep doing that. So we'll see. The next one is Al Noah Zero, because it's will have been a decade since that show came out, and I want to rewatch it and see if it is actually as bad as I remember. And I was a pretty decent fan of it. It is one of my favorite openings of all time, and I like the mech designs. But I also remember it being very silly, and I'm curious to see if I will hate it, or if it'll flip over into like kind of campy. Because I know the plot, and I know it like gets very dumb and like god heavy by the end, and I'm like, maybe I'll hate this, but I'm kind of curious to see what I'm gonna be feeling like by the end of it. And lastly is the one that I want to for like a personal goal, but I am not entirely sure in any capacity how this is going to look, which is mainly the Orgire video, because that is a series that is so immensely personal to me that I am having trouble, and I've been having trouble writing it into a video or like anything for like almost a decade now. But I want to put forth an earnest effort to try and do that this year. So I'm putting it on the list to try and hold me accountable. But if it doesn't happen, just to know it's not that I couldn't find a thing to write about it. It is my own perfectionism about a series that means so much to me, making me unable to finish it without it being the vision in my mind, basically. So that's the video list. I did make a separate little list that is just for the manga that I want to read in 2025. So this list is just kind of random in a sense. It's just like, I wanted to read this, so I'm reading it. A good chunk of these I have started but not finished, or I've seen the anime and want to do it, and then there are a couple that are rereads, which I'll just get out of the way, which is Bakuman and Karikano, because I read those a while ago and I want to reread them. And I think Bakuman could fit into several video ideas as like a sub piece or its own thing. Hard to say. I just think there's a there that I want to go check out. Ping Pong is because I watched the anime and I've read every other one of their works as far as I'm aware. I want to finish my Taiyo Matsumoto deep dive, I guess is a way to put it. A bunch of these, like Reime no Arcana, Coco Debut, Lovely Complex, Rose of Versailles are all series that I want to read just to kind of expand my shoujo manga repertoire, I guess. I'm usually reading a good shoujo manga like every night before I go to bed. It's a pretty chill read, so I work through it. X, I'm like 10 chapters into, and I want to read more of. Strobe Edge, I think I'm like 1. Kamen Rider, same like 1. Gilgamesh, I'm like 3. Monster, I'm like 5. Blame, I'm like 2. Dragon Ball is one that's going to be for the Akira Toriyama. I read every Shonen Jump video. I probably could have put Dr. Slump in here, but I'm more excited to read Dragon Ball than Dr. Slump. Chihaya Furyu, I'm like 40 chapters into. The rest are all ones that I have not read yet. My Hero Academia Vigilantes is just because I want to read the other My Hero Academia works. Wateshachi no Shiwase Najikan, he's by a manga that I really like, so I just want to read it to read their things. Katsu no Yona, I've seen the anime, so I want to watch that. Then there's Blood on the Tracks, which I'm just curious about. I've heard nothing but good things, so I want to check it out. Yamada-kun is one that I think will fit perfectly into a good nighttime read, because I didn't hate the anime, but I think it'll be much more enjoyable as a chill little manga experience for me. Vagabond, Planetus, and Slam Dunk are all just like the classic manga that I'm like, well, I should get to this eventually, so I'm going to do that. And then JoJo Sumatsu Ryokyo, I never finished the anime, but I've heard good things about it, and also it was good when I watched. I just never got around to finishing it. And then the manga, I just want to read because I want to read the manga. And Tokyo Ghoul is because I've read Joujin X, and I really, really like it, so I want to read Tokyo Ghoul. I've watched both seasons of the anime, but even I was aware, as an anime only, that the second season was very bad, and would like to experience the story as God intended. And basically, that's every manga that I want to read in 2025. It's not a particularly big list. I just made a bingo board because I made a bingo board. There will probably be many more series that pop up on here just because I tend to just pick an author once I read them and just start going through their things to find out whatever has chapters available. So we're just going to do that probably, but the goal is to finish all of these. Most of them are varying lengths of long. The shortest is probably Kamen Rider, but that's also longer chapters. But who knows? We'll get to it and we'll see what happens there, I guess. But overall, my goal for 2025 is to just keep doing things. Some small little goals is I finally want to finish Gintama Season 1 because I still haven't done it, and it's been like 5 years. Actually, it's been almost a decade since I started watching Gintama from like 3 seasons too late. Along the same lines, I also want to finish Xenoblade Chronicles 1 because I've also been playing that game for like a decade and still have not finished it. And lastly, for all those Nuzlocke fans out there, I'm going to start the Miku lock in an actual Pokemon game and not Pokerogue, because I think I have to grind Pokerogue a whole lot more before it's even like feasible to beat that, because it's hard and the Pokemon you're working with are not exactly good and you barely get any of them. So my goal is probably to just farm that game to lower the costs of the guys so there is a reasonable amount of Pokemon on my team from the beginning, because the odds are I'm not getting very many more playing the run. I'll probably think of a couple more Nuzlocke things to do because it did well and I like doing them. And also it's stream content, so that I actually stream more. I don't know how often I'll stream in 2025. Ideally more than this year, but it's hard to say. Time will tell. But that's really all I have to say. We're keep trucking along. Hopefully we can hit 1K subscribers at the end of the year in 2025. So subscribe if you want to help contribute to that. That'd be another silly video to make for a milestone. I don't have any idea what it would be, but I'm sure I'll think of one that is inherently silly, but moderately fun to do. So stay tuned for that and help us get to 1,000 subscribers. That's all. Enjoy your new year.